Alright, fellas, let's continue with Danganronpa Mauve. Get them all the FDEs and stuff. Let's see. Who do we go for next? We're done with her. We're gonna go for her this time. What does she like? What does she like? She like? Here you are. What do we have? Baking powder, encyclopedia, armband, webcam, Bluetooth, earphones, bubblegum, foundation, protein powder, white pepper, bakava, mint candy, choker, mystery novel, sliced cake. Would she like that sliced cake? Cursed doll? Of course she wouldn't like that. Lifting camera, green tea bag, ukulele, bulwark coffee, nothing. Dice Turkish delight, romance isn't mine. The fuck? Our gifts suck, man. What do we give? Would she like a encyclopedia? Let's see. If she doesn't, then I'll have to go to the mana machine and get her some appropriate stuff. Wonder if there's anything I can do. Yeah, spend time. Me and you talk. Spend some time talking with Kizuki about animals. Intimacy increase, give a gift, yep. Encyclopedia, would you like that? You're giving it to me? Thank you so much, I'll cherish it. Like it? She likes encyclopedias, holy shit, man. Hello, Miyuki, do you wish to speak to me? When I went to talk to Kizuki, she greeted me with her usual soothing voice. Yeah, because there's nothing else to do. I just wanted to talk to you. Really? Huh, that's nice. Then choose. What do you want to talk about? Choose? Is there even a choice? I'm sure there's lots of stories you'd like for me to tell you. Choose which one you want to hear first. Kizuki inserted 3 fingers to me, as if she had them ready. The contents for each one are secret, so it'll be random. You can choose anything. Well then, I'll start by listening to the index finger. Okay, coincidentally, you picked the most basic one. Something basic? You'll see. Kizuki cleared her throat, making a small noise, and then... Look me in the eye. Uh-huh. Please, look at it. I stared into Kizuki's bright red eyes for a moment. But don't stare at it too much. It's a little surprising, don't you think, how strange it is for the human eye to be this bright red color? I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me from the start, but it was rude to comment on your appearance. You're right, it's whether you're aware of it or not that matters. Have you ever heard of it? White hair, red eyes, and pale skin? Actually, I remember when I was in elementary, I would make my own original character. White hair, pale skin, and red eyes, because the eyes really stood out. That's albino? You mean albino or albinism? Yeah, that's correct, really? Awesome. It's a rare condition that affects about 1 in every 7,000 people and causes the body to lose pigment due to lack of melanin. Of course, not all albinos have light skin or hair, or have red eyes. Mine is just a little more severe. Why is she so cute though? Aren't albinos supposed to look ugly? I've heard of people having skin that looks more pink than white, or eyes that look gray or purple. The reason the skin looks pink is because the blood vessels are showing through the skin instead of the subcutaneous fat. I don't know how to pronounce. It's a trait that's usually seen in men who have less fat than women. In that case of the eye, if there is some melanin left, it may appear to be a different color than red. To look red like me, you have to have almost no melanin, which means people like me are really rare. You're not responding. Are you bored? It's not that. It's a disease. I don't plan on saying anything too much because it would be rude of me. However, would it excuse you for thinking of me as fragile glass? I'm out of luck on this one. Realizing I was joking, I smirked. Of course, a disease is a disease and there aren't inconveniences. I have extremely low vision, so glasses are a necessity, and I can't go outside at my own will. If I'm going to be outside for any length of time, sunscreen is a must and wrap up tightly to avoid exposure to the skin. My clothes are bundled up, but it's still not enough. This is the outfit I only wear when I'm in the lab. The lab? Oh, that is where I work. I wish I could tell you about it now, but... Kizuki raised her white index finger to her lips. That's for another time. It's still the index finger's turn. I'm not sure if the order matters. I'm sure Kizuki has her own ideas, so I'll let her go with it for now. Other than that, I can't think of many other things that bother me. The most deadly thing is, I've never been able to make friends. Oh wait, does having a friend mean that it needs to be an individual who's human? Seems pretty intuitive when you combine it with my talent, doesn't it? Animals. You must have pets in your home. My parents had a lot of them so that their precious only child wouldn't be bored alone. 2 dogs, 3 cats, and 5 squirrels, 1 fowl, 1 parrot, 2 ducks. 2 canaries, 3 rabbits, and a hamster. Forgive me for asking, but do you have a nice home? Well, objectively speaking, it wouldn't be, right? The maids, cooks, butlers, and drivers who work in my house always say they're short on money. That's quite the standard. Just kidding, was it not funny? Rather than being funny, I don't know where to draw the line. Oh, sorry. Aside from my parents, the only people I see are my employers, who always have a laugh at me. I never had a chance to practice my social interactions. No, don't be sorry. I'm just a little overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the story. By the way, were you serious about the employees thing? Yeah, they all work at my house. Of course, I'm kidding about the part where I say I don't think my house is well. Without the support of my parents, research would have been quite difficult, so I will always be grateful to them. Okay, I see. What were you thinking? I'm the daughter of a rich man. Maybe we can get along? What are you talking about? Of course not. Oh, that was a joke too. The joke seems too spot on. It's no cause for concern, but I think environmental factors played a role in the development of your talent. That's not wrong. What if I didn't mind the sunlight and I went to elementary school or middle school without difficulty? What if I didn't have many animals in my home because my parents were inconsiderate or they couldn't afford them? I don't think I would have been able to earn the title of ultimate zoologist. The flip of the coin is that I really love the white version of me because it's become inseparable. I see. You look nice. Was that a compliment? Thanks. We had a short, formal, but honest heart-to-heart. When I said she looked nice, I meant it. I am suffering from a symptom that I am only dimly aware of, amnesia, but I have never once thought of embracing it. Aside from her acceptance, I thought Kizuki's attitude was mature and cool in its own right. So what I need to do now is go to the mana machine and chat a bit more departed ways as I return to my private room. Shut up, motorcycle dude. I have to gather the encyclopedias. Plenty of time left. But I'm gonna skip the part where we get the encyclopedias. I'm not even sure if she's gonna like these gifts, but let's see. I've wasted too much time on the mana machine. I saw her here, so let's give this to her. Let's see. Mineral water is the safest bet, so let's give it to her. Thank you, I'll take it. Indifferent, but it'll still increase intimacy, right? I hope so. Hey Miyuki, do you wish to talk to me? Kizuki started the conversation, and this time she extended her finger. She had 2 left, her middle and right fingers. I'll choose this one. Oh, and that's in order too. It wasn't really for that reason, but I decided not to say it out loud. Okay, so choosing this is kind of an extension of what we talked about yesterday. This is an introduction to the animals we raise at home. It's safe to say that they are part of the family. How many animals were there? Let's see. 2 dogs, 3 cats, 5 squirrels. I don't remember anymore. 2 dogs, 3 cats, 5 squirrels, 1 fowl, 1 parrot, 2 ducks, 2 canaries, 3 rabbits, and a hamster. It's easy to remember in alphabetical order. Sorting them alphabetically is simple. We had to play with the animals, but we couldn't play with them all at once, so we played in an order. Shake a toy with foxtail at the cat for an hour. Leave the hamster loose in the room for an hour. Let the foal run for half an hour, and so on. It's not expected to see all the creatures in a fairy tale united and playing in the grass. Unless you grew up together and have an extraordinary bond. This is especially true for large animals like foals and small animals like hamsters. It would be a shame to say that I'm the ultimate zoologist if I can't even handle the animals I keep under the same roof. I was immature when I was a child and I didn't have time like now. Now that I've entered Hope Speak Academy, I have some free time. Times like these are when animals are needed. I miss them, my cats. Especially since we're stuck like this, you're going to miss them even more. I still remember the time when Schrodinger was hanging on my ankle. I explained that I'd only be going for a short entrance ceremony. I hope my parents and butler are taking good care of him. Is Schrodinger really a cat's name? It is, isn't it? You didn't name the dog Rikka, did you? How did you know? It's easy to guess. So everyone thinks the same. I thought it was an original name, so I was happy when I named it. Kizuki dropped her head, looking visibly depressed. Oops, my mistake. What kind of cat is that Schrodinger? I'd love to hear about it. I'm a cat person myself. Oh yeah, Schrodinger is a male American shorthair with silver fur. He's very affectionate and clings to me a lot. True to their species name, they have short fur. I love that slightly rough feel, so I tend to pick them up and pet them a lot. If she's excited to this extent, then I'm glad she's happy. He likes me a lot and is very jealous. When it was time to play with the other animals, he wouldn't get out of my arms and I was very confused at first. Even though I realized that Dinah and Jenny were snickering at me. So I scolded him once. I'm glad he didn't do it again. For context, are Dinah and Jenny different cats? Yeah, that's right. For some reason, they're both common names. Dinah is a female ragdoll and Jenny is a Russian blue. Dinah is round, so it feels really good to cuddle her. Jenny doesn't like to be touched much, but she's often in my lap. Sometimes I'm at home, not in my lab. I'm writing a paper and I get interrupted, and it's almost always Schrodinger's or Jenny's doing. They understand that I'm working, so when I put the pencil down, it won't come back up. Apparently, they both are so close that they even ostracized Schrodinger, but I scolded them while they were playing with him. We're all friends now. We talk to them like a person. As a zoologist, do you understand animal emotions? Yeah, because animals do have a language. They can be understood simply by vocalizations, gestures, and tail or ear movements, but if you've been around long enough, you can tell by a glance how they feel. We're family. We know it even if we don't say it, even if we can't tell each other. Family. Right, a family. The only ones whose warm embrace is unconditional and the strongest bond named to refer to each other. Kizuki continued her animal story. Actually, I shouldn't say this as a philanthropist, but my favorite animal is still a cat. They're so fascinating, aren't they? At first glance, they're quiet and you have no idea what it's thinking. And sometimes I can't get over how selfish they can be. If I was dating someone, I think I'd probably like someone with that similarity. Quiet and mysterious, but a human being who can read people's emotions and make sound judgments. Why does that sound like our main character? It's strange, isn't it, that I get so close to animals and I apply the same standards to people that I would to animals. I think I just said too much. You can forget about it. It's a matter of taste, so there's no need to hold back. Is that so? Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather hear about the rest of the animals, if that's okay with you. Of course, how about we start with the dog? You know, the one named Rikka who I told you earlier? Kizuki fidgeted uneasily, but it was over. Her eyes were shining again as she introduced her family. Comparing people to animals. She's happy to be in front of people, but it may not have been fun and games during the beginning. After all, to her, people are strangers. We're all afraid of the unknown and we're always looking for a place to stay, a place to lean. But then, wouldn't comparing people to animals be part of that? That is how I understood Kizuki. Please, intimacy increase. Please, intimacy increase. Let's see her intimacy increase. We talked more about the rest of the animals than parted ways while returning to my private room. Okay, I'm gonna check the profiles of them students. Plenty of time left, come on. Why do they make this part so loud? I don't understand why they do that. Annoying, actually. Yeah, it increased. So she felt indifferent with the mineral water, mineral bottle water, mineral water. Yeah. So we got a crocodile drink, sliced cake. So she might like that. She is a girl. Okay, let's go look for her. Here she is. Save. Should we give her the crocodile drink or the sliced cake? Should we go for sliced cake? I hope she likes it. Oh, indifferent. Well, it's better than hate it, but yeah. So it will increase, right? Now we're down to the middle part of the story. Perhaps the most important thing that hasn't been mentioned so far is Kizuki's own talent. Or maybe it's about her work as a zoologist. I waited patiently for Kizuki to speak. Miyuki, how are you feeling? Of course I'm fine. Why ask all of a sudden? It's nothing. What you said before has concerned me. Adding to the amnesia, headaches are never common. Are you worried about me? I'm worried, but also curious, because it's rare to me, not a doctor, to come across someone with amnesia. It's a 50-50 split between goodwill and self-interest. May I ask which one is bigger? I think the answer will determine how impressed I am. Well, As I waited, a minute passed by. Kizuki's serious expression and deep thoughtfulness were unexpected. I was kidding. Kizuki, it was just a joke. You don't have to think that deeply. As a percentage, 61% is worried and 38% is curious. The remaining 1% is miscellaneous. Huh? I did a lot of thinking and math in my head. If I approached Miyuki and said that to him, which reason would take precedence? I am more curious than I thought, so you might be disappointed. I'm sorry. But I didn't want to lie in the math. That's science to the bone. It's okay, I'm not disappointed. As an academic individual, it's perfectly normal to be curious. I'm glad you accept it that way, but just as a doctor cannot ignore a sick person, a zoologist cannot ignore an animal that exhibits abnormalities. I'm being treated like a strange animal, huh? Oh no, I didn't mean to say it like that. Sorry, I was being rude again. Dealing with people is so difficult. I've been rude to people because I think and act on my own again. I shouldn't have done this. Kizuki, calm down. I wasn't really offended by it. Thanks to your kindness this time, Miyuki, I was able to go through safely. But what if next time I make a bigger mistake? It won't end up in just an apology. There's a strong opinion that consideration should be given to high school students and patients with rare diseases who are rarely found in schools. But I'm supposed to become an adult and have a life where I interact with other scholars, right? You're worried that your lack of social skills will hold you back when the time comes to really interact with others. It's a little scary because for a social animal, isolation is like poison. That is why I was scouted by Hope Speak Academy. Because of that, I wanted to make friends. A classmate I can talk to, someone I could even have some fun with. I know this may make me like some strange person and I realize that, but the people who hold the title of Ultimate Student might have some similarities to me. That is why I came to this school. Being honest, if you look at my actions so far, there was never a failing grade. They wouldn't even give me a B-. It was a bit strange, wasn't it? I wondered why my other classmate was struggling so much and suffering all alone. No, it's not something I can empathize. If you think about it, I'm in a similar situation to you. Thrown out into the world and not knowing where I belonged. Feeling like I'm falling into an abyss without a hand to hold on to, that if I stand still, I'd be swallowed up. I feel the same way. I feel funny saying this, but don't beat yourself about it. You're doing a great job because you're going up against something you don't know is a feat in and of itself. Thank you for your kind words, Miyuki. You really take good care of me. But it's also true that the anxiety still remains. I don't understand abstractions very well because as an academic, all I have to fall back on is experience and observation. So I want to prove here that I can create something that is a friend. How do you plan to prove it? There's a way. Kizuki then held out her hand. Be my friend. Yeah, there was no need to prove if the answer was already here. that's the right choice. However, Kizuki, for someone who is afraid of causing trouble to others, you came way too forward. What if I'm the kind of person who doesn't want to be in a relationship with you? Perhaps there's a chance, but I trusted my guess. If you were not interested in me, you wouldn't come all the way out here to talk to me and... Yeah, that's right, I've been wanting to get closer to you for a while now. However, this sudden request for dating came out a bit unexpected. Dating? I wasn't aiming so seriously, I just wanted to be friendly. Kizuki's pure white cheeks were as red as her eyes. A scholar is a scholar after all, Kizuki. Your guess was right. I took Kizuki's outstretched hand. I could feel the warmth of her body gently enveloping my hand, in contrast to the very cold colors. Congratulations on making a friend. I'll make sure you don't regret it. Thank you. No, I should be thanking you. In an unfamiliar space with nothing attached, bound by anxiety, she became one with me for a moment. I'm sure it wasn't an illusion to feel my hands getting a little warmer. Awesome. After I separated from Kizuki and returned to my private room. Are we going... is there another free time? Nope. Gotta skip this part. Here you are. Save here. I wonder if she'd like a crocodile drink. Let's see. Sorry, I love anything Miyuki gives me, but... Uh-oh. Oh, shit. That's not good. We're gonna have to reload. Slice cake. Yep. Safe bet. Hello, buddy. How are you feeling? I'm fine, thanks. By the way, are you going to call me that now instead of my name? Huh? It's just... it would be nice to call someone a friend. Why, do you not like it? Seems pretty happy to have a new friend. Nah, I'm good with that. Good to know. Now I have one more story to tell. Will you listen? Kizuki held up her one remaining finger, lifting her hand. Yes, of course. What's the story about? The story of how I became a zoologist. So there's the story. I love animals, so my parents brought me a lot of books about them and took me around a lot. Around a lot? We traveled by private jet to visit zoos and research facilities around the world. Even though they were busy with their business, they made time for their only daughter. In the case of the research facility, I was able to get a tour through my grandfather's connections. My grandfather was the president of a university, so he has a lot of connections with professors and other scholars. What a great family you have. I said before that my family played a big part in discovering my talent. Of course, this is also part of it. I have nothing to say if you tell me that I am a person with a golden spoon who was selected as an ultimate thanks to my family's environment. It's true, so it's okay, no matter how you reach that conclusion. I'm not familiar with Host Peak Academy, but I don't think you can get in simply based on social status or wealth. You were chosen because you're talented, no doubt. Yeah, that's definitely true. I just want to say that this is something I also acknowledge. I hope you don't revile me for it. No, I don't. I promise to be a friend. And you think I'm the kind of person who would do something like that? I guess not. If you say so, then I'm glad. Thank you. I think she's not used to having friends yet. I'll have to spend more time talking to her. Anyway, back to my story. I learned English from a young age, so I already knew how to speak it. I didn't have too many communication problems wherever I went. I also had a lot of conversations with people at the lab. Apparently, one of the lab directors saw some of my talent and contacted my grandfather. My grandfather used his discretionary funds to set up a lab for me, and that was the beginning of my career. Question here, what exactly is that lab? Well, it was a lab, but it was still a playground for elementary school-aged kids. A few books, a few articles, and a few animals. The change came when I wrote an article of my own. It was probably titled, I think it was How to Develop Zoology in Primary Education. How embarrassing. You were embarrassed? A thesis like that would be wonderful. I was 11 years old, out of school and being homeschooled by a tutor. I realized that primary education neglects biology, including zoology, and I thought there was a problem. So I mimicked the format of the articles I've been reading and worked hard to write about how to improve zoology in primary education. And I showed it to my grandfather confidently. He just stroked my hair and smirked. As it turns out, the proposal was exactly what the new education law was already working on in Congress. I thought of something that everybody else could have thought of, so I was confident in myself. Is that something to be ashamed of? Your own idea matched the elite members of a national assembly who represent the people. I'd say it's rather self-sufficient. I guess you could look at it that way, but think about it, how much support I've gotten. Not only financially, but also the attention given by my parents and grandfather, time and effort. For the adults in my house, time is money. You've heard the story about Bill Gates picking up money that fell on the floor? I've heard of it. When an unclaimed $100 bill falls on the floor, Bill Gates doesn't pick it up. He's a successful businessman who makes $150 a second, so he doesn't pick up. I think the old saying was that you don't invest a second of your time in something that is expected to yield a lower return. You got it, which means my work should have been more worth than that. The days when my parents turned off their cell phones and boarded a private plane, hours spent when my grandfather convinced an acquaintance to take care of me. Few people occasionally stopped by my house and looked over my shoulder to see what I was doing. It was all to their detriment. So for me, it was quite a shock to realize that all that investment could be for naught. Kizuki, this is just my thinking, but I don't believe that's the case. Is it not? There's a part called investment. Do you think your parents and grandparents spent money and time on you because they prioritize your academic performance? It may not be the only priority, but it is also true that my parents were disappointed. It was something that deserved reflection. Anyway, back to the story. After that. Just a moment, Kizuki. I'm still not convinced. Let's talk about this a little more. That's difficult. If you're troubled, is it because it's personal? There's nothing we can do about that, but... Rather than being a personal matter, it's embarrassing because it was unplanned. Unplanned? Suddenly, I remembered my first conversation with Kizuki. Perhaps, does it have something to do with your finger? I was correct. You have prepared your topics in advance. I read somewhere that proper conversation is key to making friends. But the idea of socializing with other people is just too hard. I decided on a topic in advance so I wouldn't be caught off guard by an unexpected topic and it would seem normal. When you even realize it, I'm ashamed. I see that's what you meant when you said that every time the story went off on a tangent, you'd finish the story. To keep the topic from going elsewhere. Kizuki's face was already bright red. She wants to make friends, but she finds it hard to talk to them, so she sets topics and tries to steer the conversation in the direction she wants it to go. In the end, my prediction was true. Kizuki is still afraid of friends. Even though the person in front of me is an ultimate, she's unable to control her instinctive fear that goes against reason. What should I say? Previously, I had treated Kizuki in a way that seemed plausible, like I was in the same boat or I could relate. In this situation, I'm really getting to know her. The most appropriate response in this situation is to... So, Kizuki, have you showed your grandfather your thesis? Just keep spinning the wheel. After that, my grandfather was really supportive. He understood that it wasn't child's play anymore. The lab was filled with books, cadavers, and cryostats for dissection of various animals, rearing rooms, cleaning rooms, and equipment rooms for images with MRIs. I interact with professors at the university where my grandfather is president, and with my sister and brother in graduate school. I worked hard on my research, attending conferences and lectures, and eventually published an article. The title was The Zoo Behavioral Impact of Cities on Cats, an Evolutionary History. So it's about cats after all. It's my favorite animal, so it wasn't hard to think of and write about. The next thing I know, I'm hundreds of pages into it. It's gotten attention in conferences and it's become a household name. The fact that the writer was a minor who hadn't even been to school probably played a part too. After that, all my books and papers were talked about and universities sent me scouting emails. I didn't even finish high school yet. That's when I realized what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to a normal high school. Does this tie in with what you said before about being interested in making friends and hanging out in a normal way? Yes, correct. I felt like if I made more special, then it already was, I would not have this opportunity again. That was a few months ago and I took a break from research to get my GED and start high school. Translator note: GED stands for General Education Diploma. Okay. Not to a prestigious college or trade school, but to a regular public school. I don't know if it was the rumors I got or just my unusual appearance, but everyone started avoiding me. But I didn't come to school for this. I was disappointed and thought I would just drop out and go straight to college. But then I received an acceptance letter from Hope Speak Academy. Hope Speak only accepts active high school students, and until now, I hadn't even been able to get in because I didn't have a degree. So you had a new expectation for yourself. We've said it before and I'll say it again. People who wear the title of Ultimate may have similarities. You remember that. It is as you say, even though I came here and faced such a rough situation. Kizuki paused for a moment. I'm happy with my decision. That's good for you. I couldn't resist asking Kizuki what she was happy with, because I couldn't even clearly answer whether the decision she made in the situation she just described was the right one. The conversation ended in vain. There was no clue, let alone a mention, but both Kizuki and I must have felt uncomfortable. Changing the subject doesn't solve the problem. Awesome. You've earned 1 skill point. Feeling awkward, that's not how you spell it. Parted ways with Kizuki and returned to my private room. Bye. Owie, my back. So is this the last free time event? Let's see. Oh yeah. Let's look for her. There you are. Save. We're done here. Let's get back to my room. What? So it's not enough? Okay. Uh-oh. It's not enough? What are we missing? Well, I have a chest set. Would you like that? Huh. Let's see. Why did that happen? What the hell? Where is she? Does the map work? Let's see. Diner, nah. Bathhouse, nothing. Laundry, that's not her. Hallway. Oh, she's in the incinerator. Wow, why would you be there? I've been searching all over. Okay, we got an encyclopedia, by the way. While I was going around here. Give you this. There you are. Miyuki, are you free? Huh? Yeah. Free as free willy. Kizuki suddenly spoke up. Are you okay with time? Do you want to have a long chat? Well, it is a chat, but it's going to be a little different from what we've had so far. What do you mean by different? It's a little bit personal. I don't feel comfortable talking about it in this open space, and I think it's better if it's just the two of us. Kizuki paused for breath, as if making a big decision. I was going to invite you to my private room. Is that fine? I'd be glad to. Are we going right now? Yeah, alright. So, do you want to go now? Her voice seemed to tremble for a moment, as if she wasn't expecting an immediate answer. Still, it must have been a thoughtful decision. Brushing the thought out of my mind, I followed Kizuki to her private room. Last free time event, boys! Kizuki's private room had the look and feel of a laboratory. There were beakers, alcohol lamps, flasks cluttering the desk, as well as a skeleton and a medicine cabinet. The shelves don't open, the picks are stuck to the floor and they don't move. But there are a few things that work. Hold on a second. Kizuki did rummage through the clutter on her desk. Yes. There we go. Here, drink this. Kizuki then walked over with 2 steaming cups and held out one to me. Coffee? Thanks. It's not coffee, it's heated milk. I can't drink caffeine. The atmosphere was totally for coffee though. Then you can't drink black or green tea? Yeah, I once took a sip of my parents' drink and I stood up for the rest of the night. I haven't touched caffeine since. Kizuki then sipped her milk. There's nothing like milk after all, because there's nothing bad that animals provide. I like it too. She poured some milk of the right temperature and I took a sip. I feel the warm liquid gently moistening my neck and going down. Cough, cough. Suddenly Kizuki began coughing. Tears ran down in her red eyes and her face was flushed, yet she showed no signs of stopping. What's wrong? It's nothing. It's my own mistake. It's about the milk. Mistake? You're okay, right? You don't have some kind of deathly disease you've been hiding from me, do you? Not at all. I only needed one bottle. That's fine, I guess. By the way, the milk temperature is just right. I like it. Thanks. I do this a lot. I know best how delicious it is. Originally, I didn't drink before, but as time went, I had a change of heart. The mood was warm. What I wanted to say, what I was going to say, sank into the milk. You were enjoying the silence and turning our backs on our obligation to communicate. The first to break the silence was the owner of the room. It was to be expected. Thanks, my friend. For what exactly? The answer came right away. You know, back then, I prepared a topic in advance for a conversation with a friend. To be honest, I would be lying if I said I wasn't embarrassed. I felt so pathetic at that moment. Should I offer words of consolation? Nah, consolation won't help Kizuki, so what I'm going to do instead is... Yeah, that may be something to fix. If you don't take into account the variables that can arise in your relationships with others, you can run into problems like you did. But isn't that what being a scholar is all about? Fixing things through trial and error? If you find a problem and you fix it and move on to the next, which of course applies to me saying this. So let's work together, Kizuki. We just have to remember the past and dream of the future. As expected, the answer came back without any delay. Yeah, you're right. It would be a slap in the face to me and a lot of people who supported me. Still, consider yourself lucky, my friend. I made my first friend so well that I started to realize in this manner. I'm so glad I met you. And with that, Kizuki laughed, cup in hand. It was her usual faint smile with the corner of her mouth lifted, but I wondered if it was just my imagination that she looked brighter than ever. So what comes next? A plan? The goal is to make friends, right? I'm sure your goal wasn't just to make one person. Get to know everyone else if you can. That said, honestly, I don't think we need to rush this. Even if it's just one person, it's still fun. Are you happy to be with me? If it were me, that's probably true, but I don't think I've ever made you happy by talking to me, Kizuki. Of course it's fun. There's no greater joy than learning, my friend. How can I look at this and say I didn't enjoy interacting with you and learning more about myself? Speaking of which, if you don't mind, can you be my only friend for a little while longer? I feel like there's more to learn and more to enjoy in our interactions. I don't want to miss a moment like this. Do you like it? No? It's not what I don't like, but I thought it might be in your best interest to make more friends. Interest? Are you worried about me? Could this not be because I wanted to choose the more enjoyable option? Her torso leans in close directly in front of me. I feel close, but we're sitting on a chair and nowhere to back away. Kizuki's red eyes envelop me in its intense color, as if they were going to completely fill my vision or suffocate me. Something shallow tugs at the hem of my shirt. This is Kizuki's white hair. I have a lot on my mind, Miyuki, but for now, I'll choose the one that makes me happy. Hey now, I think her personality changed a bit. You know, that sounds a little irrational, right? Even as I said it, it did feel a little strange. So why am I saying this? I do not know either. I felt my throat burning and brought the slightly cooled milk to my mouth. If that's what you want, then I'm fine with that. Yes, it is. That's good enough. Let's do our best, Miyuki. Be a part of my future a little more longer. I glanced over at Kizuki, who's smiling at me, while I'm lost in thought. I was the one who approached her at the beginning, but now I'm the one receiving too much attention. Will this turn out to be a beneficial outcome for her? Whatever, as long as Kizuki fulfills her purpose, it's good enough. And if it turns out badly, I'll be there to watch for her. I've already made up my mind that I want to be with her for the foreseeable future. I toss my thoughts to the back of my mind with the rest of the milk in my cup. And I look at Kizuki, waiting for an answer, as I look into her red eyes. Yeah, absolutely. It's a promise. We don't feel dizzy nor suffocated here. We just stare as closely as possible. After that, I spent more time talking with Kizuki. I felt like I couldn't have gotten any closer to Kizuki. Awesome! Completed! What skills does she have? 9 lives increases the maximum amount of HP you get in a class trial to 7. Okay. So that's not 9 lives. I return to my private room. Hooray! We did it! Done with Kizuki's. What's her name? Fuck. What was her full name? Something Kizuki. So yeah. I'm gonna end it here. So this was Danganronpa Mauve. Free time events of... God damn it, I forgot her name. This is Kizuki. Kizuki for now. You're just gonna have to read the title for her name. So if you want to try the game for yourselves, the links are in the description. Translation provided to you by Zephram. Follow them more for more Danganronpa related stuff, etc. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.